Hello and welcome to Scrolls News. Today is the 21st of January. It is a Tuesday as always, and it is 2014 currently, not 2012 like I said in my last video. Now then, this week in Scrolls News we have the changelog for 0.112.2, which has gone live for those of you playing. We have new art spoiled on the dev blog, so you might want to head over and check that out. It will be on the screen, but there's beautiful resolutions if you head to the actual Scrolls.com website, which I will link in the description. This comes with all the changes that were in the previous test server patch, such as the Return to Nature nerf, the Harvester nerf, the Tribesman nerf, the Focus nerf, the Scholar buff, Captain nerf, Scout Automaton buff, Gravelock Outcast buff. So those sorts of details, you'll want to look at the post or look at the previous couple of videos to see what I think of those particular buffs. This video is refined, so I'm not going to go into details, so those are the very vague, specific statistics. We also have the testing grounds being updated to give you a new type of play. This one is very similar to the bridge trial if you've been playing the trials. The Just For You section now has a 50% chance of giving you a scroll you're missing. So if there's a scroll that you don't have in your collection, it's more likely to show up than one that you already have, which I think is a very good idea. It's only a 50% chance, so you won't be seeing it a huge amount. It'll be like, it's 50%. You're going to flip a coin and it might work out the right way, it might not. So I think it's a very good way of doing it as opposed to a 100% chance or anything kind of like that. 50% chance seems like a very round number. They've removed Herobrine and they've removed the holiday unit art. They've changed 2 of the default chat rooms, so decks and strategies no longer exist. Now it's scrolls and game modes for discussion along the lines of scrolls in general and the testing ground sort of stuff. Because the decks and strategy rooms didn't really pick up a huge amount of movement, it is beta, so maybe when it went live, decks and strategy might become a thing, but right now it doesn't seem to be, so scrolls and game mode seems to make more sense, especially during beta. Bug fixes: sacrifice should always now work after rejoining a game in progress, so if you have a disconnect for some reason. And they fixed a bug where picking rewards after judgment could sometimes fail. That's gone. And friends should no longer show up as online when they're actually online, so when you look at your friends list and it says 41 and you know that's a lie, that has now been fixed. That's it from the devs. Now let's head on to the ESL stuff. On Sunday, we had the Winter Cup begin in the 1v1. NRP the Ninja faced off against Cashflow. Then the Superb Simone in the quarterfinals and Dialects in the semifinals in order to reach the finals. Blinky defeated Old Man's HQ, the Purple Pansy, Mopyik in the quarterfinals, Ivalice in the semifinals, and faced off against NRP the Ninja, where he won in the finals. So Blinky won, NRP the Ninja came second, and in third, Ivalice defeated Dialects. That's it for your ESL news. The Guild of the Week. This week I'm advertising the Badger Guild, partly because I'm part of it, and mostly because it's now open for recruitment. So those of you who have a high rating of 1700 or higher, and those of you who want to test out decks that people might not have looked into yet, this is a place you can go do that. It's a good guild for those sorts of things, and if you apply, you will probably get in if you hit their criteria. All they really ask is that you partake in their discussions. As long as you're involved in what they're doing to further the world of Scrolls and their decks, then that's fine. They'll happily have you and keep you on for a while. And they're a fairly relaxed group. If you have some time off and you give a reason and they understand the reason, that's fine. They're not one to kick you off, but when you realise, yeah, I'm not contributing, then that's when they'll ask you. It's fair enough that way. When people don't show up for a very long time and they can't get a hold of them, they assume, yeah, you're done. And that's probably the reason that they're recruiting currently, is because some people have been away since Alpha, that sort of stuff, so they've sort of dropped out a few names and started to add some new people. So now is a good time to get in, and it's a group of people who test decks. That is their real goal. They want to get into the high ranks of the tournaments, and they've been doing a good job of it. There are lots of other guilds that have been doing a good job too, and this one is being spotlighted because it's currently recruiting. Head in there if you want to try it and see what you can get out of it. Okay, finally we move on to this awesome spreadsheet that has been gathered by some members of the community. It covers a lot of the spoilers that have been released about Rebellion. It doesn't quite cover them all, but it covers a vast majority of them, and I expect that it will be a completed list by the end of the week at least, especially with Rebellion coming out hopefully this week to the test server. I'm sure this spreadsheet will explode and everything will hit Scrolls Guide damn near immediately. But while you're waiting and as things are leaking out, this spreadsheet is a pretty good place to look. There are a couple of things missing, like Soldier's Bond and a few things along those lines that have just sort of been spoilt in like chat rooms and stuff that hasn't quite made it to this spreadsheet, but I'm sure they'll hit it soon enough, so head in there and have a look. It's a good list of some of the stuff. It shows you a good amount of the new trait, like Dominion, Pillage, and Unique, and it also has a good collection of the art that has been spoilt so far. So go have a look, and I mean, it's worth a browse. So if you've maybe not been paying attention enough to the spoilers that have been happening, you can go check this out. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was aiming to keep it as short and quick and concise as the previous one. Hopefully I managed that, and I mean, I'll see you next week for the next video, when hopefully I'll have a bunch of stuff to tell you about Rebellion. I mean, I'll still try and keep it short, so you might want to look for a live stream or something along those lines. I have had a suggestion about a new possible type of feature that I could do for a segment, and that would be a schedule of the upcoming events. So those of you who want to get a tournament or a cup or a match or something like that spotlighted in this show, just send me a message through the YouTubes and I'll make sure to include it. I mean, if it's just 2 or 3, that's fine, I'll still do the segment. If it's only 1, maybe, no, I'll still do it. If you send me 1, if anyone sends me something for this, I'll put it in there. Just something along the lines of like a small tournament that a guild has hosted, or maybe like someone's live streaming something like special that they want announced ahead of time, that sort of stuff. Just send it in, it's fine, I'll put it up here. So I mean, that's all from me. I'll see you next time.